An excerpt from Care of the Soul by Thomas Moore. Psychological polytheism is more a matter of quality than quantity. When you find tolerance in yourself for the competing demands of the soul, life becomes more complicated, but also more interesting. An example might be the contradictory needs of solitude and social life. In most of us, there is both a spirit of community and a spirit of solitariness. Sometimes they seem to war against each other. Sometimes other people complain about our loyalty to one or the other. But both can be woven into a life, not only logistically, but deeply. In fact, the deeper one takes the complicated, competing demands, the more subtle each becomes. One can find some country in the city and community and sophistication in the country. The polytheistic life can be difficult to bring off, but it keeps life interesting and in motion. Furthermore, the soul is fostered in the tangles of polytheism, just as it is in the many turns of the labyrinth. The most rewarding quality of polytheism is the intimacy it can make possible with one's own heart. When we try to keep life in order with a monotheistic attitude, do the right thing, keep up the traditions, and be sure that life makes sense, our moralism against ourselves can keep certain parts of our nature at a distance and little known. A man who had never gone camping in his life was sure he would hate it, but then he fell in love with a woman who loved to sleep under the stars. On their first night outside, he looked up at the brilliant sky and confessed that he never knew he could appreciate such a lovely, simple act. He didn't know he had it in him, he said, in a statement that intimates a small opening into polytheism. An attitude of polytheism permits a degree of acceptance of human nature and of one's own nature that is otherwise blocked by single-mindedness. A neurotic narcissism won't allow the time needed to stop, reflect, and see the many emotions, memories, wishes, fantasies, desires, and fears that make up the materials of the soul. As a result, the narcissistic person becomes fixed on a single idea of who he is, and other possibilities are automatically rejected. We can read the myth, especially the discovery of the other face in the pool, as a lesson in polytheism. We can see narcissism then as an opportunity rather than as a problem. Not a personality defect, but the soul trying to find its otherness. Narcissism is less a simple focus on ego and more a manifestation of the need for a paradoxical sense of self, one that includes both the ego and the non-ego.